Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square with T-Square Talks. Hope everybody's having a great day. I was going to do a package opening today. However, when I opened it up, I was like, there was a lot of questions because it was the first time I had ever ordered from that person. And so essentially, I was spending more time testing and focusing in on the coins that I had picked up because they were gold, and less time really talking and keeping a good conversation with you guys. If you guys are interested in seeing that video, go ahead and say I would watch it, and I'll consider posting it, even though it's kind of, like I said, it was a bunch of gold coins that came in, and I did not want to take any chances. I worried a little bit because the way the package traveled across the United States, and it went all the way to Hawaii, and I was like, what the heck? And then came back, and just the first time I was a little skittish, but I didn't have no trouble, so I was happy with that. So I got a great video though planned out today because I had to kind of double back and do something different. But I think it's a good video because I think it's a lot of basically questions on these topics that I've seen numerous times come up in the chat. So the three topics I want to cover today, if I can cover it in all the time, but they kind of tie together, is silver stocks. What do I think about silver stocks? There's some great companies out there, I think, that have potential of really going up, especially if silver goes up. And I believe silver will go up. So I think there's some great companies out there that will go up. Am I going to get into any of them? No. This is not a pitch where I'm trying to sell you a stock or anything like that. We're just going to talk the basics about silver stocks real quick. Profit taking. Is that wise to profit take if silver goes up? We're going to talk a little bit about that. Will silver ever hit $100? $100. We're going to talk a little bit about that. My answers to the questions in a short form, but we're going to cover all of them. Yeah, some stocks are good, silver stocks. They're good to have, but there's no, in my opinion, there's not much that can go wrong by just holding physical. But silver stocks is a way to expose yourself into silver and not have to worry about it, but you are relying on other people. Profit taking, obviously, I believe in profit taking if you're going to use the money for the right things. We'll talk a little bit about that. And $100 silver, it's a no-brainer. We're going to $100. I'm not going to sit here and tell you we're going to 500, we're going to 1,000, we're going to 2,000, or all the way up to, what was it one I heard? I heard one that was like $6,000 silver, and I was like, what in the world? So we're going to talk about all these subjects. If you guys enjoyed the video, please help me out by hitting that thumbs up button. It's what kind of keeps the channel going. Thumbs ups, comments. If you're not subscribed, help me out by hitting that subscribe button. Off to a little bit of a slow start on the video, but we're going to pick up the pace real quick here. So silver stocks, what are my thoughts on silver stocks? Like I said, I think there's a lot of great stocks out there. It's a great way to expose yourself. However, I believe there is no better way to expose yourself to silver than actually owning physical silver, like what you see in front of you on the screen right now. Why? Because it has no counterparty risk. It's here. I already own it. I have it. I know exactly where it is. I can go get it. I could sell it if I need to. I could hold it. Stocks are great. As the price goes up, they're going to keep mining it. You're going to keep getting returns on it. Instead of owning one ounce of silver, or, for the same price, you can pick up some stocks and maybe get some dividends off them, get some good returns, watch the price of the stock go up. Well, that's great. But the thing that I always worry about is situations like Enron, where there's just huge scams. They seed a mine report. I don't know if any of you guys know how mine reports work. They'll send in samples, crush it up, test it, and essentially see what percent they're pulling out. Well, in some cases, samples have been seeded, which means someone will dust a little bit of gold in there, make it a little bit more spicy, kind of like coin roll hunting. When you watch some of these coin roll hunting channels, maybe you think that, oh, there's no way he pulled that. Yeah, I can tell you I've seen some crazy pulls legit. If I didn't see him, I wouldn't have believed it. But on the flip side, I do believe that people will spice up a video by planting stuff. You know what I mean? Just by, oh, hey, I just got these rolls from the bank. Oh, my word, it's all silver. Anything can happen. But there's a lot of excitement, a lot of spice. And they do the same thing with mine reports. So I don't want to get caught in the middle of an investment and all of a sudden you find out that their mines are not as productive as they were telling the people. So moving on to the next topic. Obviously, I think the next topic should be the $100 silver. Will we see $100 silver? I think it's a no-brainer that we're going to see $100 silver. Do I think it's going to happen overnight, tonight? No, I don't. I think that there's a slow road, and I think as long as we continue year over year to see good returns in the price of precious metals, then I think that $100 silver is a no-brainer. I actually was talking to a buddy of mine in real life, not just on YouTube, and he said, do you really think that's possible? That's not possible, $100 silver. We've been picking this stuff up since it was $16. There's no way it's going to 100. But here's the thing. There have been people on the channel that have been stacking silver since it was $5. And they probably never, well, some of them imagine, because some of them, really know the fundamentals of silver. They're hardcore. They put a lot of research into it, and they essentially live the life. I believe that the amount of reading I do on silver is probably more than I technically should do. I've had people joke with me and say you are obsessed with it, but anytime someone jokes with you and says something like that, it may not be entirely a joke. There's a possibility you can get obsessed with this. And I do believe that I am heavily obsessed with silver because I have a firm belief that it's going up. All the numbers that I've read, everything points to higher price silver. And these people that bought in at $5, $30, it seems so far away. I mean, you're talking 6x move on your money. Well, here's the thing. At $30 silver or $29, we're only talking a 3x move, a 3.5x move. That's not insane at all. Do I think there's going to be some pullbacks on the way to $100 silver? Absolutely. I think that there's a good chance that, when we hit the $50 mark, there'll be a lot of people that will pull out. Just like we're seeing a lot of people that have been kind of pulling out at 32. And anybody that doubts that, I mean, I've read the comments here on the channel where they've said, hey, I got out at 32. I plan on getting back in when it goes down to like 25. And that's it. And I'm not going to say they're right. I'm not going to say they're wrong. Because if someone said that when silver hit $29 a while back, about a couple of years ago, during the whole cough, then if they pulled out at 29 and they waited, they could have essentially picked it all back up at 22 and really made a really good score on their stack, especially since at 29, it wasn't selling at 29. If spot price was 29, you would have no trouble in my mind getting 30, 31. And then again, when it went down to 21.90, you weren't picking it up at $22 either, though. You were going to pay 23 something, 24 maybe even. So, the opportunity, I believe, is firmly there in silver. And here's the thing. As gold continues to go higher, that's why I find it interesting that we had such a big pullback on gold. I know the weekend reports is China has stopped buying gold because they're trying to work on their economy. I don't believe that for a second, because I think what China is doing is, yes, gold hits 24 something, 24.40, I think. And China said, you know what, let's let it settle a little bit, and let's let the people that are shorting silver, let's let them shoot themselves in the foot, essentially. Let's let them beat it down a little bit, and then we'll sweep back in and buy another big jump. And that way, I mean, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket all at the same time. Not because, I've done things where I've put in huge amounts into one investment and let it ride. However, I didn't want to do it all at once because you don't want to bid the price up and then watch it come down. You want to just do it naturally. Buy it in, let it go up a little, and then when it settles back down, you buy in some more, and you keep that process going. So now the question comes up, well, okay, so your stocks made you a good profit. Maybe you've bought some mining stocks and you've done really well. Silver's on the move up. It's now $100. You've made a lot of money on the physical. You've made some money on the stocks. Well, then the profit taking comes in. You know, no matter what the price of silver goes to, you are going to have people out there saying that it is going to go even higher. It doesn't matter what it is. You think of any investment that has done really well, and they're going to tell you it's going to go higher. Take Dogecoin the first time around. We had Dogecoin go from essentially I don't know, it was cheap. I don't even think it was a penny. And then all of a sudden it spiked all the way up to a nickel. All of a sudden people are talking about how it's going to go to $1, it's going to go to $5. And then all of a sudden it goes up to 72 cents. And now people are saying it's going to $10. And then it got destroyed and people essentially lost everything. That's the gambling mentality. They usually get a taste of it and they ride that taste up. And then all of a sudden they see and they hear all these speculation that it's going to the moon, and they put more of their hard-earned money into it. Now, is that a bad thing to put more money into something that sounds like silver? It's all going to come down to the price. I mean, the opportunities to get in my personal opinion, are now. The people that are not taking advantage or have not been taking advantage of back when it was 16 and they heard about it, really missed out heavily. I mean, I heard about silver when it was $5 and I missed out heavily because I didn't start buying until it was 20, and then I rode it all the way down to 15, 16, and I continued to buy. Now, was that a big deal? No, because I dollar cost averaged all the way down. And then all of a sudden, when it worked its way back up to 20, every ounce that I had was profitable. I kept buying. It goes up to 29, and at 29, I'm in shock. But every ounce I have is up. But then it goes all the way back down to 22. And now I've taken a loss on some stuff, but I've still made money on a lot of stuff. But then all of a sudden, fast forward, and we're at $32. And I'm saying again, every ounce I own is profitable. And that's we're still in that area right now. Most people are in the green. Once you're in the green, I have a buddy of mine that tells me, he goes, I'm going to keep buying because there's really no way I can lose at this point. Even if I keep buying small amounts over time or my regular purchases, it's not going to phase it because I'm not going to lose what I've already lost or what I've already gained. I can't, he goes, realistically, can I lose out if I started buying gold at $1,340? I said, not really. We ain't going that low, I don't think. And silver, can I really lose out if I started buying at 15, 16? Not really. So he just believes, keep on buying, keep stacking, and eventually we're going to see the price continue to go higher. Is there a possibility they can beat it down on short terms? Yes, of course. That's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing a huge beatdown, but it's not devastating of a beatdown, really, when you think about it. Some people would be like, I would call $2 in one day a devastating beatdown. And I guess it kind of was a little shocking more than anything because it didn't make sense. Why it went down did not add up. But all they got to do is they say the wrong thing in the Fed meeting next week, and that's it. It's going right back up. And everything that they beat it down. But I don't think they care. I think they're after beating it down so they can keep picking it up, so short positions can cover. And essentially, after that, it won't matter to them because, they're going to keep picking it up. Now, some people say they'll never let up off it, though. The price will always be beat down. And maybe it will for a while, but you can't force something down forever. So, taking profits, though, back to, I kind of got strayed off a little bit, but back to taking profits, there's nothing wrong with taking profits if you're taking profits for something good. I would not want to take profits just to put some cash in my bank account. I would not want to take profits to essentially just put some extra cash in my wallet. I would not want to take profits to go on vacation or something silly like a new TV because they're running Black Friday sales. Will I take profits? Of course. If I see the opportunity for either land or a business that I want or a piece of property, real estate that I want, of course I will be willing to take a certain amount of profits. But I'm not going to take it just to hold it because I understand that silver is real money. Once you understand that silver is money and everything else is debt and credit, then the game changes. You just see everything differently. Someone teases me because every time I go to buy something, I put the value in ounces of silver that day. So let's say I go and I buy, I don't know, I don't really spend a whole lot of money on nonsense stuff, but let's say I go out to eat at a nice restaurant. And my nice restaurants probably ain't what some of you guys are going to say at nice restaurants. You're going to be like, $40 at a nice restaurant? It can't be that nice. I don't spend big bucks. But if I go out to eat at a good Brazilian steakhouse for lunch, like Fogo de Chao, I'm out $40 for myself. I look at that as, I could have bought an ounce of silver and maybe even a couple extra silver dimes. Was it worth it? And that's where the obsession comes in a little bit, but you look at stuff differently. You really do. And that's why once you get into silver stacking, you find ways to tighten your belt. And I got distracted there for a minute. I don't know if you guys saw that. There was a little fly or a little bug crawling up my wall. My windows are open right now. It's summertime here. And I just saw it and I was like, that's kind of weird as I'm looking at my screen. But needless to say, he was probably just admiring the silver because people recognize silver is going to keep going up. And like I said, once you realize that, you change your outlook for everything. Once you understand what happened in the old days, how people would work all day for a small amount of silver, a silver dime. Go check out the movie with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, Far, Far and Away, I think it's called, where she's plucking chickens all day for a silver dime, just so they can make ends meet. And he's a prize fighter, basically, just doing boxing and stuff to make extra money. And, one night of boxing, he makes more money than they'll make plucking chickens for a long time. Well, right now, we make more money doing, I'll say, nonsense, because that's what I really believe a lot of jobs are now. When I worked for the oil field, I would sign off on something. 2 people signed off on it before me. I'd sign off on it, and then someone above me would sign off on it before it's bought. Do you need 4 certified college graduates in the electrical field looking at a light to make sure that it works? Or can you just have one person flick the switch and say it works? But that's not how things work. A lot of money gets spent on nonsense, on photocopying, filing, saving, recording, record keeping, and tons of other stuff. And eventually these things are going to, I believe, go away. We're going to have more AI doing a lot of jobs. We're going to have a lot of jobs being filled by non-people. And people are going to understand when all of a sudden it's hard to just get a job, then it's going to set in the reality of what money is. And then if they compound that with, we're going back on a gold standard or a silver standard, now money's real, and that's it. People don't understand the way things really are because they're not a firm believer in it. So profit taking, it's good if you do it right. And if you're just going to, sell your silver just to go do nonsense, then you did all that work to acquire it. You wrote it up, but you come up short possibly. And the people out there that are just holding off, waiting for the big dip, if that dip doesn't come and it just keeps slowly working up, then you miss out altogether on it. And even if the dip does come, are you still going to have all that fiat currency to buy when the dip comes than if you had just kept buying a little bit here and there? Because the truth of the matter is, when people save money to try to do something like this, most of the time it gets spent before they ever get around to investing it in something. So with that being said, 20-minute video, probably one of my longer ones. I apologize. I thank y'all for watching. I know that's not good to have it that long. We'll see if I get a lot of thumbs up on the video. 20-minute videos are bad for YouTube, they say, because they don't get the thumbs up usually because they're so long. So hopefully you hit the thumbs up at the beginning of the video. And if you made it this far, it shocks me, so let me know, because I know 20 minutes to listen to me talk is a long time for one video. So thank you all for watching. I will see you guys again next time on T-Square Talk. Y'all have a great one, and I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Have a great Sunday, and it's going to be exciting come Monday. So take care, everybody, and have a great one. Bye-bye.